Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that takes the whole idea of human resilience and just magnifies it to a literally cosmic scale. I mean, think about the sheer volume of suffering out there in the universe, right? We're talking everything from devastating, life-altering grief, all the way down to the daily grind of just being stuck in terrible traffic. Now, imagine a being designed specifically to face all of that suffering head-on, without ever breaking, without ever burning out, and, amazingly, without ever losing their joy. Today, we're going to explore the ultimate hero of ancient Buddhist philosophy and see how their absolutely incredible mindset can completely change the way we look at our own struggles. Just let this staggering vow wash over you for a second. It's from an ancient text called the Mahaprajna Paramita Shastra, and it says, "I shall take on the suffering of all beings in the hells for infinite eons." Wow. I mean, this isn't just about helping a neighbor out for an afternoon, you know? This is an absolute, unimaginable level of compassion. It requires a mental and spiritual toughness that goes so far beyond ordinary human grit. To make a promise like this, you need a core that is, quite frankly, absolutely indestructible.
So here is how we're going to break down these profound ancient concepts today. We'll start with the ultimate being, look at their unbreakable core, explore the Diamond Mountain analogy, dive into the practice of great adornment, and finally, end with the great joy.
All right, let's jump straight into part one, the ultimate great being. Who exactly makes this kind of vow?
We really need to define the specific type of entity capable of making such a massive, honestly mind-bending spiritual commitment. Because, let's be real, this is not your average seeker of truth. We are talking about the Mahasattva. In the original text, Maha means great, and Sattva means being or mind. So this great being stands completely apart from the rest, because they aren't just trying to escape suffering for themselves. No, they are actually leading the charge for everyone else. And they pull this off by using a mind that the ancient texts describe as being as hard and unyielding as a diamond.
To put this into a better perspective, the text points out that there are roughly 3 types of beings in the world. You've got those destined to awaken and reach nirvana, those destined for endless suffering in lower realms, and those who are undetermined. The contrast here is just incredibly sharp. The Mahasattva is considered the absolute greatest among anyone seeking the ultimate truth. Why? Precisely because they willingly choose to step right into the path of the worst possible suffering simply to rescue those who are completely lost.
Moving on to part 2, the unbreakable diamond heart, the core of the Mahasattva.
The sheer audacity of this vow is just staggering. Think about it. The Mahasattva actually chooses to dive into the deepest hells and endure for time periods so unimaginably long, they basically break the human concept of time, literally infinite eons. And the craziest part? They expect absolutely no praise, no reward, zero in return. In fact, they vow to be the absolute last one to achieve the ultimate bliss of Buddhahood. They are literally standing there holding the door open until every single other being has walked through safely.
So how do they survive this without totally breaking? Well, it all comes down to their key thoughts. They hold a completely equal mind toward everyone. That means they don't love their friends even a tiny bit more than their worst enemies. They relinquish all possessions, physical and mental. They claim absolutely zero credit for the massive work they do. And most importantly, they realize that all things are ultimately empty. This total letting go of me and mine is the actual secret to their impenetrable armor. I mean, there is literally no ego left to be bruised.
Now for part 3, the Diamond Mountain analogy, making the abstract tangible.
Okay, I know all of this can sound super abstract, so the ancient texts give us this deeply grounded, unforgettable analogy to really help us grasp the fearless nature of this mind. I want you to just close your eyes for a second and picture a mountain. But, not a normal mountain made of dirt and stone. Imagine an unshakable, towering, massive mountain made entirely out of solid, flawless diamond. It is majestic, it is completely rooted, and it is totally impenetrable.
And this brilliantly illustrates the real difference between us and the Mahasattva. Our worldly minds, they're fragile. We get completely swayed by the wind of a single mean comment online. We crack under the everyday pressure of loss or physical harm. But the diamond heart? It is entirely unmoved by the hurricane winds of hatred. It cannot be chipped by the chisels of malice, and it is completely impervious to the annoying little insects of daily frustrations. Things like a delayed flight or a spilt cup of coffee.
The text puts it so beautifully. Listen to this. Like a solid diamond mountain, people come to chisel and ruin it, insects come to bite, but there is no loss or damage. People can hurl abuse at the Mahasattva. They can even inflict physical harm. But because their core is solid diamond, meaning it's totally free of ego and attachment, all those attacks just shatter instantly against the surface. The core remains perfectly intact. It really is the ultimate defense.
Let's look at part 4, practicing the great adornment, action without attachment.
Now, you might be sitting there thinking, wait, so they just sit there like a rock and take it? No, not at all. Let's shift from what the diamond heart is to what it actually does in practice. This is where the really cool concept of the great adornment comes in. This state of mind isn't about passive endurance, it's incredibly active preparation. Think of a great hero actively outfitting themselves with perfect, shining armor and the ultimate tools before heading into the hardest battle imaginable. The Mahasattva is actively equipping their mind with boundless virtues. Let's see how these spiritual tools actually build on each other in the real world. According to the text, mastering one of these virtues naturally unlocks all the others. Step 1. They give completely. This is known as dana. But while they are giving, if someone insults them, step 2 instantly kicks in. They endure it perfectly, which is known as kshanti. And they can only do this because of step 3, prajna, or wisdom, where they clearly see the ultimate emptiness of the entire situation.
So the absolutely crucial point here is this definition of emptiness. It is not some dark, depressing void. Actually, it's the profound, incredibly liberating realization that the person giving, the person receiving, and the gift itself are all basically like a dream. When a Mahasattva is attacked while just trying to help someone, they don't get angry at all, because they realize the attacker, the attack itself, and their own ego being attacked are all ultimate illusions. You can't hurt a diamond mountain, and you certainly can't hurt an illusion.
And that brings us to our final section, Part 5, the unmoving great joy, the result of ultimate resilience.
Now, this brings up a very logical question, right? Wouldn't enduring endless hells eventually just cause ultimate exhaustion? How on earth does anyone sustain this? Well, ordinary human resilience requires intense, teeth-gritting effort. It drains us, it leads straight to burnout, and it feels incredibly heavy. But the Mahasattva operates from what's called the unmoving mind. Because they aren't constantly fighting to protect an ego, their resilience is actually effortless peace. They are completely free from anger and ignorance, and instead of burnout, this state literally overflows with what the texts call the great joy.
This quote perfectly explains why they never burn out. Love and concern for beings is greater than for a newborn child, so there is no annoyance. Think about a parent waking up at 3 in the morning to care for a crying baby. Sure, they're tired, but that pure, unconditional love completely overrides the annoyance. The Mahasattva looks at every single being in the universe, yes, even the ones causing them direct harm, with that exact same boundless, pure compassion. It completely eliminates the friction of suffering.
So, bringing this all together, the diamond heart is basically the ultimate spiritual alchemy. It takes the heaviest burden you could possibly imagine, the infinite suffering of all living things, and through the complete dropping of the ego and the deep realization of emptiness, it completely transforms that immense pressure into ultimate, unshakable peace. This absolute fearlessness is exactly what creates true, lasting inner joy.
Which leaves us with this final thought. Look, we might not be Mahasattvas taking on infinite eons of hell right now, but we all face our own daily battles, our own chisels, and our own biting insects, right? If the diamond heart can remain completely unmoved and truly joyous under the weight of the entire universe's suffering, how might cultivating just a tiny fraction of that unshakable, ego-free diamond mountain within yourself change the way you face your challenges tomorrow? Really think about it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.